Alright, so here we're going to do a quick review of the Ifi Zen CAN. This is a Class A amplifier by Ifi. This was sent to me for review, but of course, that doesn't change my opinion at all, so let's get into this. As you can see, the box barely fits within my camera frame, and so it is a quite large box here. Let's take this out. It's kind of underneath this sleeve, it has like kind of like a default box look. I don't really like this unboxing. This has been another thing that I've said about previous Ifi products, but I think that their boxing is a little bit too minimalistic for the price ranges. But this one at $200, I guess it's fine. Let's take this out here. Take this out. To have some paperwork underneath here, and you have a 4.4 adapter, which is nice. All right, let's take this and move it to the side here. Alright, so in this box, that was in the inner box here, we have the power adapter. What else is here? We have the RCA connectors to plug into your DAC, and that's it. So, I mean, what you would do if you are new to amps is you would I'm missing one of the protectors of the RCAs, but they were both protected by these things. So you would take these RCAs, plug this into here, plug this other side into your DAC, and plug the DAC into your computer. I used a shit Modi, so with this amplifier, if you were curious. Anyway, so here is my first minor complaint, but it's a pretty valid complaint in my opinion. I think that they should definitely change this on any next rendition, is that I need a longer power cable than this. As you can see, this cable, I can't really get this in frame well enough, so I'm just gonna have to show you it with it in half. This is not long enough, like in reference to how big the I'm trying to get this on camera better, but yeah, this is the best I can do. This is not long enough, in my opinion, for the power adapter for something that's gonna be on your desk, because not everybody has a plug just very close to where they want to put their amplifier. So having a longer cable for the power, because this is using a barrel jack, which is not the most common jack, it's not like it's USB-C or something like that, it would have been nicer to have a longer cable, power cable for the wall. So you would probably need like an extender or like a, what is it called, surge protector, to be able to make this long enough to reach the power adapter. You know, some people might do that, not everybody, but I needed it personally, actually. I needed an extender anyway. So, here's the unit itself. As always, build quality is excellent with Ifi. Full metal, feels fantastic, cold to the touch. I really like the way this looks as well. In the front, you have this kind of fake leather, kind of fake. It looks like like fake alligator skin almost. On the front, like faux leather. Got these. I think this is kind of like a brass look to it, knob and buttons. And on the back we have, you know, the output, balanced out, man, I can't speak, and you have some inputs, etc. So, and then you have the power. All right, let's take a look at the front I/O. So another small complaint, but it is a complaint, is the buttons are a little bit loose feeling to me. I don't know if you can see this here. You see how it's not just like perfectly flat, it shakes a little bit, like wobbles. I know this seems like a small complaint, but from my experience with previous Ifi products, they can do better. They're really the kings of build quality. I think in the amplifiers that I've experienced with, and so this was kind of a disappointment because it just doesn't feel premium. The buttons don't feel nice. They're a little bit mushy to press. Like if you can hear this real quick. It feels like a poor quality button, in my opinion. I just don't like the quality of the button press. It's not a big deal, but it's just not the quality I expected. The knob, though, is fantastic. Very smooth. I really like the feeling of the knob. As you can see, you have a 1/4-inch plug, and you have a 4.4 balanced connector, which is fantastic. You'd love to see that. And here we have these sound effects. You have X-Bass, X-Bass, gaming mode, and movie mode, and X-Mems. So here we have a gain switch. We have 4 gains on here. A lot of amps have 2 or 3. This has 4, which is nice if you like that. Me personally, I think it's just not useful. We'll talk about that in a second though. And we have 3 inputs for the 3 inputs on the back. Now, and this would be able to switch between the inputs, which I really like. I think more amplifiers should have the ability to switch between inputs and outputs. Anyway, so let's talk real quick about the sound. You know what? Let's talk before we talk about sound. I want to talk about another thing I wanted to complain about. During my testing, this was something very annoying, to be honest, like really annoying for me. I don't know if there's a way to do something to make this not happen, but if I'm switching between gains, which I do, you know, for certain headphones, certain IEMs, I need to, if I want to switch from, let's say, the first gain, from the second gain back to the first one, I would have to click this 3 times. So it cycles. There's no way to like press a back button or something like that. You have to go all the way through the loop. And this is annoying for 2 reasons. One, you can make your headphones too loud by upping the gain, and that can damage your hearing, so you should take off the headphones or lower this to 0. And 2, I think that it shouldn't be a button, I think it should be a switch. I know it sounds like a huge nitpick, and it is, to be fair, but I think a button press, especially these loose buttons, is too easy to press. It's too easy to accidentally increase the gain. So for me, I think that that's just not something that I like to see. Again, this is more of a nitpick. This is not a deal breaker at all, but I think that is something to have of note. Same thing with the sound effects, the X bass. You would have to, if I want to move from X bass back to X bass or turn it off, I'd have to cycle through all of them to get out. So that's another thing I do not like. And another thing that I think would be better with a switch. This one is not as bad to be a button, but I just prefer switches than these buttons for these kind of things. I think buttons are fine for maybe input or something like that, but I think switches are nicer in general on amplifiers. But that is a personal preference thing. Anyway, now let's talk about the sound. Let's stop talking about other things, talk about the sound here. I enjoyed the sound that came out of this amplifier. It is a very high-end sound. I actually preferred this amplifier over my current one, which is the Topping A90. I actually preferred this one over the Topping A90. I know that might be a little bit controversial for people to say, that they might think that I'm crazy here, but I like the sound that comes out of here more than the Topping A90. I think that it sounds a little bit cleaner. It sounds, and it just sounds overall better. I just preferred the sound when I plugged in both my 650, which is what I mainly use for testing amplifiers because of its high impedance, and also I plugged in my Dita Project M because I think that this is a very transparent sounding IEM, which really does show the quality of the source. So I used both of those with both sources. I had no noise floor on this, and I had a very clean, crisp sound, detailed, wide stage. I enjoyed it a lot. Now let's talk about the sound effects and what they did. I did not notice a difference between when X bass was on or off. It was annoying to test it because I had to cycle through all of them again and again to turn it off and on. But when I did turn it on and off, X bass, I couldn't really notice a difference. It was hard to be able to test because I couldn't A/B. But when I tested it many times, and I just couldn't really pick up a big difference with the Project M or the 650 or anything else that I used this with. It was strange because I noticed the difference between X bass being on and off with the Griffin and with the Go Bar, but not with this. And I don't know if it's a different method of having X bass or I'm crazy, but I'm not hearing the X bass change. X bass, just like on the Griffin and the Go Bar, I did not enjoy what this did to X bass. The X bass, I mean. X bass did increase the stage, like it says it would, but it reduces note weight. It makes it sound a little bit just it's too airy. It sounds thin. I didn't like what X bass did to the sound. Other sound changes, I didn't really like what it did to the sound either. I'm very much somebody who doesn't like to change the sound with these methods, except for X bass. I've enjoyed X bass on their other products, but otherwise I didn't really enjoy the other sound modifiers here. But that's not really important. These are just more extras. The main thing about this is I enjoyed the sound of the amp without any of these on. I enjoyed just I enjoyed the sound. It was fantastic, crisp, clear, detailed. I got a good stage with both my 650 and my IEMs. With the IEMs, I had these on low gain, and with the 650, I had them on high gain, the highest gain there was. I was using it single-ended, and with the single-ended, I had to bring the volume up to around here to get it to the volume that I would personally listen to. With low gain on the Project M, again, it was around the same actually on low gain. Now, if I was running this balance, I didn't have a balance cable for my 650, so I couldn't test that. And I preferred running the Dita Project M with its balance. So this is balanced Project M, but this is single-ended HD650. I think that if you were running balance, this is a guess because I don't have a balance cable sadly for my 650. I would probably run it around here. So if you're wondering, on high gain, it'd probably end up being around here or here. So I think that's like more of a, I'm telling you as a reference because I know a lot of people have a 650 on how much power this can output. It is very powerful amplifier, but I don't think this will be able to run things that are absolutely absurdly hard to power, like the HE6SEV2 or the Mudhouse Tungsten. However, I don't have those headphones. I don't have my 6SEV2 anymore, and I never had a Tungsten, so I can't tell you for sure. But that's just my guess based on how much power, how much I had to turn the knob to power my 650. Overall, can I recommend this amplifier for $200? Absolutely. This is a really good amplifier for $200. You're getting top tier sound, amazing sound quality, and at a honestly really budget price. $200 is not expensive for an amplifier of this quality. The A90 is a lot more expensive, and I prefer the sound that's coming out of here. With only small nitpicks like the buttons and stuff like that, it's not enough to make me say don't get this. I think that this is a very worthwhile amplifier and very much worth its $200 price tag. Another small thing I forgot to mention is that another thing with the buttons again, I don't like having 4 gains because I don't need it. I only used either the lowest gain or the highest gain. I can see having the low gain, then the second gain, and the last one, but I don't need 4. And again, it makes it where I have to keep clicking this button to change the gains. It's annoying. I wish it was just 2 gains or maybe 3 maximum. But some people want 4, I guess. If you want that, it has it. Overall, can I recommend the Ifi Zen CAN? Absolutely. This is a fantastic amplifier. It is well built with an excellent sound and with good features, with only very small nitpicks to complain about. That's about it. See ya.